Let's be real. Things don't just randomly fall apart when you start chasing God. That sudden wave of chaos, the emotional weight out of nowhere, the friendships turning cold for no reason, it's not coincidence. It's spiritual warfare. And here's the bold truth. Those spiritual attacks aren't happening because you're broken. They're happening because you're chosen by God. It might sound counterintuitive, but the more chosen you are, the more targeted you'll be. The enemy doesn't waste bullets on people who aren't a threat. So, if you've been wondering, why am I under spiritual attack? This video might just change your entire perspective. We're going to dive deep into the signs God chose you, how to recognize the spiritual battle you're in, and why being targeted by the enemy is actually one of the clearest signs of divine favor. This isn't about fear, it's about identity. You're not just going through it, you're growing through it. You're not cursed, you're called. And when you truly understand what it means to be anointed, to carry a spiritual strength that shakes the gates of hell, you'll stop asking why it's happening and start realizing what it's unlocking. Let's get into it. Spiritual attacks often begin when a woman steps into her calling. You know what's wild? The moment a Christian woman dares to walk in her purpose, life doesn't get easier, it gets messier. That's not bad luck, it's a spiritual battle. The enemy recognizes an anointed woman when he sees one. When she stops playing small and starts aligning with God's purpose for women, the attacks from the enemy intensify. But here's the twist. Those attacks are confirmation that she's finally stepping into territory she was always meant to claim. Think about it. Why would Satan bother someone who poses no threat? It's the woman who prays when it's hard, who declares faith in hard times, who dares to believe she's chosen by God. She's the threat. When she starts mentoring others, sharing truth, or even quietly obeying God's whisper, all hell starts shaking. That's not failure. It's proof God chose you. And the attack is custom designed to hit where it hurts most, to shake your identity, your worth, and your confidence. Ever notice how attacks often hit your emotions, your relationships, or your peace? That's not random. That's the enemy trying to silence your influence. The moment you start believing you're a woman of God, doubt creeps in. But instead of retreating, that's your cue to press in. Read Ephesians 6 and actually put on that armor. Declare Psalm 91 out loud and pray with fire. When the enemy comes in like a flood, that's when God lifts a standard. And guess what? You are that standard. Being chosen doesn't mean life gets easier. It means you've been set apart for battle. There's a dangerous myth floating around that says once God chooses you, everything should fall into place. But the truth? When you're chosen by God, you're set apart, not set aside from trials. A woman walking in her divine calling doesn't get a lighter load. She gets supernatural strength to carry what others can't. That's why spiritual attacks come in waves. The enemy senses that your growth is unlocking something massive in the spirit. People won't always understand the weight you carry. They might say, "You've changed," or wonder why you've become more guarded with your time and energy. But when you're in the middle of a spiritual breakthrough, distractions come dressed as opportunities. That's why discernment becomes your best friend. Protecting your peace, fasting regularly, and journaling your walk with God aren't just Christian habits. They're war strategies. And it's wild how no matter where you are in the world, whether you're watching this from the US, London, Melbourne, or somewhere quiet in your room, this truth hits the same. The battle is real, but so is your anointing. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because we go deep here, and drop a comment to let us know where you're tuning in from. It's powerful to see how God is raising up women across the globe for such a time as this. Attacks are often confirmation that you carry something the enemy fears. When a woman carries a heavy calling, the weight of the warfare matches it. That pressure you've been feeling, that's not punishment, it's proof God chose you. The enemy doesn't waste energy on someone going nowhere. He attacks the woman who's stepping into her assignment, who's influencing her family, praying boldly, speaking truth, and refusing to quit. That's the kind of woman the enemy fears, and it's exactly why he's been turning up the heat. It's like carrying spiritual gold. If someone were carrying a bag of rocks, no one would chase them. But if they're carrying treasure, suddenly they're a target. Same thing here. The more spiritual strength you develop, the more valuable your impact becomes. And listen, it shows up in everyday life. Maybe your peace is under attack, or you've been drained emotionally for no clear reason. That's not random. It's calculated. The key is to stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What's trying to stop me?" Because right on the other side of that resistance is the next stage of your spiritual growth. Maybe it's time to start writing that devotional, leading that small group, or praying boldly over your kids again. The attack exposes the assignment, and if you're wondering how to know God chose you, it might just be the very thing trying hardest to break you right now. Now that you see what those spiritual attacks really mean, what are you going to do with that knowledge? Will you keep shrinking back, or will you rise like the woman of God you were created to be? Because if the enemy has been fighting you this hard, imagine what he's trying to keep you from stepping into. That spiritual battle, it's the loudest confirmation that you've been chosen by God for something powerful. And the time to walk in that is now, not someday. Ask yourself, what if the resistance in your life is actually the sign of divine favor? What if the pain you're in is proof you're birthing something eternal? And what if everything that's come against you lately is the enemy panicking over the impact you're about to make? You're not just enduring, you're becoming. So lean into it. Embrace your Christian identity. And remember, God is with you, even in the fire. If this message stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Comment below. What hit you the hardest? What are you claiming victory over today? Let this be a space for bold, faith-filled women to speak up. And if you're ready to keep growing in spiritual strength, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because we're just getting started. You were never meant to fight this battle alone.